Welcome back. This week, the glitz and glamour of the fashion world is centred on Sydney. However, it hasn't always been a smooth journey for Australian Fashion Week, which was set to be cancelled before a crew of Aussie talent stepped in to save it.
And now, newly appointed Fashion Week CEO Kellie is revitalising the event, focusing on inclusivity and innovation. We're delighted to say Kellie joins us now. Kellie, good morning.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you guys. It's been a while.
Very generous of you to give us some time when this is all playing out this week. So thank you for coming in and chatting to us. This was almost cancelled, this event this year. You and some other big names in the fashion industry rallied together and brought it back to life. Why was it so important to you to keep Australian Fashion Week going?
Well, if we don't have Fashion Week and a trade event, we don't have a fashion industry really. So it's about showcasing fashion, not only domestically but internationally. So it was cancelled in November. The Australian Fashion Council stepped in really quickly and I took on the job in January. So we've moved really, really quickly. But, you know, we have to showcase Australian fashion. We have to bring international buyers to Australia, and you can't do it without a week like this because it showcases, you know, we've got over 30 brands showing this week. So it's...
Wow.
And just, it means a lot to our industry and what we, you know, our designers and what they're putting out to the world. It's so important. So you started with a tribute to Carla Zampatti, and a beautiful one too, and opened the event, and it looked incredible. Tell us about, you know, how emotional that would have been and what it meant to honour Carla in that way.
60 years of Carla Zampatti, and, you know, she was a dear friend of mine, which I think you guys know, so it was magnificent. But I think the backdrop, like we're at iconic Australian location,
Beautiful.
Sydney Harbour Bridge. She was an iconic Australian fashion designer. You know, Carla was very much about inclusivity. She was a champion of women, and it really represented that. It was really emotional, actually. I mean, you know, she's such an icon, and I think everyone felt that. And then there was a beautiful tribute at the end of the show from 14 Australian designers who interpreted Carla Zampatti in their own way. So Michael Assorto, Pip Edwards, Tony Matuszewski, and it was really, really beautiful. So that came at the end, and it was fantastic.
Well, I don't think there would be an Australian fashion designer who wouldn't credit Carla Zampatti with inspiring them or carving a path in some way for them. And that would be the same for all of the young emerging designers that are coming up in this country right now. What's Australian Fashion Week doing to support the young emerging designers of Australia?
We had a beautiful show yesterday, The Frontier, and because a lot of the time, like, to put on a big show is expensive, it's a lot of work, and so for smaller brands,
it's not doable.
No, it's not doable. So we had The Frontier yesterday, which is a new concept. So it's a group show of brands that already have a cult following but aren't that big enough to do the full show. So that was amazing. We were all sitting there. I was actually next to Pip Edwards. You know, she was going, I'm having that, I'm having that, I'm having that, I'm having that. So that was fantastic. And then on Friday, we've got the New Generation show, which are those brands that are really emerging. So we have to have, you know, champion brands at every level. Carla Zampatti, you know, 60. Lee Matthews was 25.
Yeah.
You know, that was a beautiful show yesterday. And then the new brands coming through as well. It's really, really important.
And sustainable fashion, I suppose, is something that's on everyone's minds too. You know better than that anyway. You're the founder of The Vault. So how does that work, and how is that progressing? Are more designers getting on board with that, and is it profitable?
Well, it has to be part of a business plan today. You know, if you're looking to trade internationally, you have to have a sustainability plan.
Right.
I think consumers expect it as well. So, and I think it's also about buying quality, and I think that's what Australian Fashion Week is about, right? It's the best of Australian fashion. It's quality fashion. I'm very much an investor in fashion. I think everyone knows that I have a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
But it's about investing in really good quality fashion, and that's what we do. And yes, there's sustainability elements if you look at the fabrication and how things are made. You know, some brands are trying to make everything in Australia because, as we know, it's getting more challenging offshore to do things. So I think it's looking at every element of your business, and I've got a team down there auditing Australian Fashion Week this week from a sustainability point of view. So we're looking at it from every angle.
Well, it's great to have the event back and thriving as always. Congratulations to you,
Thank you.
On keeping it going. And of course, on this week's episode of the Payoff podcast, you are my very special guest, and we're talking about all things the business of fashion, the circular economy, and some of your wonderful stories about, like, Chanel shows in Cuba and things like that as a fashion mag editor as well. So you're going to want to tune into that and listen to Kellie's fabulous stories on the Payoff podcast.
Thanks, Kellie, and enjoy the rest of Fashion Week.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Go well. See you soon.